Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Michael. Today I want to share with you a project that comes together really quickly because of these Santa ATC digital images. So I'm going to show you how I made this card today. And the idea for this card came from me working on some other samples. So these two cards are just with a plain embossed piece of white cardstock with these Santa ATGs. And then I was thinking I want to make something with gold mirror card. So I pulled out what I thought was gold mirror card that I just recently picked up here, and it's not. It's actually kind of cool, and it worked out fine. But it's this adhesive gold metallic paper. So I don't know if you guys have this where you live. I'm pretty sure this is probably available in the United States. If we have it in Brazil, it's probably available in the United States somewhere. But if you don't have this, you can certainly use a gold mirror cardstock or something like that. So let me show you the Santas first. So everything I'm using for the cards today, the Santa Claus, the sentiment here, these are all from KCS Designs by Kim. Kim has an Etsy store filled with digital clip art, digital papers, some really cool mixed media colors for papers. There's a lot of stuff going on over there, and she's having a Black Friday sale. So this is her biggest discount of the year, 55% off everything in her Etsy store. It starts today, the 26th of November, 2025. It's going to run through Cyber Monday, so it's going to be the same percentage through Monday. It's at kcsdesignsbykim.etsy.com, or if you're on Etsy, just search for the store KCS Designs by Kim. No discount code needed. Everything's already marked down. Just throw the stuff into your cart and enjoy. I have a lot of stuff on my Instagram and my blog and my YouTube everywhere with a lot of her stuff. So I'm really enjoying being on her design team. This is one of her newest digitals. It's called, where are my notes? This is called Christmas Santas. No, let's see. This is called Christmas Santa ATCs. Everything I mentioned here will be linked below in the video. It will also be on my blog post. So this is a set of 24 Santas, okay, in an ATC size, which is 2.5 by 3.5. Easily cuttable, fussy cuttable with a ruler, with a scan and cut, any of those things. And what's really cool is Kim formatted this. You get 3 sheets with 8 of the Santas on each sheet. And you get 2 sets. One is sized for A4, which is a paper size we use here in Brazil, and I also believe in Europe. And she also includes a set that is sized for 8.5 by 11 for you folks back in the United States, okay? They are not individual Santas, so you'd have to at least print out one sheet if you see a Santa on there that you like, but they're all really adorable. Easily used for card fronts, for a Christmas album if you're making one. Really fun. So these are the different Santas. I cut them out, and I printed them out, and then I cut them out individually. And we're going to use one on today's card. The sentiments are really cool. They are called Christmas words. And you get all of these sentiments, okay, as a full sheet like this. So if you print the full sheet, you'll get 1 1/4 sheets. She also includes each of the sentiments individually if you only want to print out a specific sentiment. And what's really cool when you're working with digital, at least I can, that's another story. But when you go to print, if you can print more than one image per page, not the number of pages you want to print, okay? So when I printed this full sheet, I only printed 1 sheet, okay? But if I choose with my printer to print 2 per page, it will shrink it sizes it automatically so that you're getting 2 of the words per page. It's really good because you can have different size sentiments for different size projects. If you're working on a tag or maybe an ATC, you may not want an image this big, maybe you want this big. If you choose to print this 4 times, they will be even smaller. Okay, so play around with that on your printer. I just wanted to show that to you. So this is Christmas words. So let me get going on this and explain to you what I did. So, because this is so flimsy, I didn't think if I embossed this with an embossing folder, it was not going to really emboss well. So what I did was, I cut a piece of white cardstock 4.5 by 5.5, okay, and then I cut a piece of this adhesive gold mirror, okay, and I took it. Let's move this to the side. I took it and I just adhered it to the white cardstock, just so that this is going to be heavier. I burnished it to get rid of any bubbles that might be there, okay? Then what I did was I have a 4 by 5 1/4 stitched rectangle die. This is like my go-to die. And I die cut this using the die so that I have a stitched background over here. And then I went and I looked through my stash of embossing folders, and I didn't want anything that screamed Christmas. I wanted something a little bit more, I don't know, formal in a way, something a little bit more, I don't know, not that it would scream Christmas. So I found these two. This is from Griffin. This is called Acantus. This is old, okay, and this one is from Cuttlebug also. This, I don't remember the name. I can't read it here. If I can find these, I'll link them below. And then what I did was I ran this and I embossed the 2 images. So this is the Cuttlebug one, and this is the Griffin one. Both will work for this. So look in your stash of embossing folders to see what you might have laying around. And this little backing that came off of this, I'm going to hold on to these because this is a really good backing to use if you want to make your own enamel dots or other things like that using, you know, like some Nuvo drops or these pearl pens from Germany. You can make your own enamel dots. So something to think about there. Let's get going. So I already made a card front. Okay, so I have a piece of red, shiny, beautiful cardstock here. It's 4 1/4 across, 11 inches down. Then I put this into my score board and I scored at 5.5 to give me a basic A2 sized card front. Then I die cut a piece of white cardstock with that same 4 by 5 1/4 stitched rectangle die, and I adhered it to the inside. If you don't have this die, okay, you can just cut a piece 4 by 5 1/4, adhere the 2 pieces together, run it through your embossing folder, and just use that without the stitching. The same thing here, 4 by 5 1/4, no stitching, and then just adhere it to the inside of your card. So, since this baby already uses this one, I'm going to put this to the side so we can make one using this. So on this original card, I glued this piece right to the card front, like that. But with this card, I'm going to raise it up a little bit, and instead of using foam tape like most of us do, I am going to use a piece of red fun foam. I buy this in huge sheets. It comes in, I don't know, 30 different colors, textures, designs, you name it. This is much cheaper for me here to just use this and cut this down. So what I'm going to do is, and I don't know where you guys are in the world. I remember when I lived in New York, Michaels used to sell a package of fun foam, like black and white, probably 8.5 by 11 size, and it was in the children's craft section where they sell like the pipe cleaners and the googly eyes and things like that. So if you're interested, check out the price. Let me know if Michaels or Hobby Lobby still sells this, because I think it's probably more affordable to use fun foam than some of the foam tape that is out there. It's getting a little bit expensive. So I cut this just a little shy of 4 by 5 1/4. Then I'm going to adhere this. You can use double-sided tape here if you want to. I'm just using the glue because it's faster at the moment. And I'm just going to adhere this to the card front. What I really love about these Christmas Santas, the ATCs, they're all the same size. So if you wanted to make a bunch of cards, you know, like mass-produced cards for, I don't know, teachers or coworkers or to sell, this is a great set because you just cut all the Santas. You can die cut them all the same. You could do like a production line, you know? Okay, so while we work on the next part, I'm just going to place this over here. I'm going to put an acrylic block on top just to set that down. Now, for the Santas. So I went and I cut a few. I cut these 2. Let's go with the Santa. Yeah, let's go with this one. So what I did was I'm using 2 different. This is from Pink and Maine. It's called Stitched Rectangles Set 1. They have a Set 1 and a Set 2. I only own Set 1. If you want Set 2, it will have the 4 by 5 1/4 inch die that this doesn't have, so that's why this one is not pink. One of these days, if I find the time, I will possibly order it. But I'm using the small, not the smallest, the size that best fits this. So I die cut the Santa ATC using this die. If you don't have the dies, okay, this die measures 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, 3 and 3.5, almost 3.5. So you could just cut your image 2 1/4 by 3.5, or whatever size you want to make it. You don't have to keep it to the size. That's just the size of the die. Then I use the next size up to cut a piece of the same red cardstock. Okay. I'm going to adhere a piece of fun foam to the back of the red because I really want this card to rise up. Now, Fun Phone comes in here, probably there also. A bunch of different thicknesses. So this is your typical Fun Foam. It's probably 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter. This one is a little bit thicker, a little bit more firm. And then there's this big one, which is about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm pretty sure that you can find this all over the world, because a lot of people who do a lot of like masks and hats and molds and stuff will use this size also. So I am just going to, I cut it a little bit shorter than this piece of cardstock. I'm just going to adhere it down. And really, the Fun Foam is optional. I really enjoy cards that are not just a flat card. I love some depth to the cards. Most of these cards will fit into a regular size envelope anyway, even with the Fun Foam. So then I'm going to adhere this to the card front. Probably should be using double-sided tape because of the slickness of this gold paper, but we're going to take a chance. So I'm just going to adhere this here in the center. Then I'm going to adhere my little Santa Claus here. That's just the washi tape that I use to hold the die down. Okay, I'm just going to adhere this to the center. While I talk about the sentiment, let me just make sure this is straight. Is this straight? Okay, I'm going to place this over here. I'm going to put the acrylic block back on top of it. So for the sentiment, I already printed them out, and I fussy cut the ones that I would like to use on the front and on the inside. So what I have here is I'm going to go with, so these are the two different sizes. If I can grab the next one. So you can see there is a little bit, they are a little bit thicker, wider than the first. And I love these because I have these two stitched banner dies. These were from, oh, not Pink Fresh. They were from, another P name. I can't think of the name right now. They are no longer on their website, but if you look for stitched banner dies or stitched sentiment dies, you should be able to find a collection if you don't already own them. And what I like is, after I fussy cut the images out, this wider one is perfect for layering. So I had a piece of the scrap paper here when I cut the card down, and I just cut these banner dies out. I keep a bunch of these in the different colors of the cardstock that I use, so you could see here, which side is the stitched? This side. So right like this. So then I can just layer. And what's good is, if you want to layer your sentiment on this side, you can use the right side. If you want to layer something, depending on which way you put your sentiment, you can still have this nice edge on the inside of the card, okay? So for these two, I cut out Merry Christmas and Father Christmas. So what I'm going to do is, let's grab the card here. So I'm going to put Father Christmas here. And I'm going to use glue on this part, but underneath here, I'm going to put a foam square. I'm going to need two, so I'm going to put two foam squares, one on top of the other. So here's my first one. I'm just going to adhere the other one here right on top. Remove the tape backing. I'm going to put some glue on this side of the card because that's the side that is going to adhere here. So I'm just going to line this up with the red cardstock here. So I have it like that. And then on the inside, I really like doing this lately. Instead of leaving this just blank like that, I'm just going to adhere one of the other sentiment, Merry Christmas. I could do it in the center. You know what? I'm going to do it in the center. Let's just do it in the center. You could do it off to the right. You could do it off to the left. So I'm just going to put it there. And that's that. Now comes the fun part. If you want to, like I did on these cards, I used a glitter glue. Can you see this here? I added a little glitter glue to the hat. This turned gold. So I'm going to warn you, because when you print a digital image, it's basically a water-based ink, unless you have a laser. If you have a laser, that's a different story. But if you have an inkjet or an eco tank, it's probably going to be a water-based ink. So your stickles, your glitter glues may interact with the ink and the paper. This doesn't bother me, okay? I really wanted it to be white, but it's okay, it doesn't bother me. I'm going to try this time. The one I used on these cards is it's a Brazilian glitter glue. There's also a pearl glue like this. There's still a company out of Germany. Many years ago, I bought this. It's called Viva Decor. They're in Germany. These different colored pearl pens, which some have glitter, some don't. You may have these in your stash, in your house. I am going to use this 3D white glitter glue from Acrylex. This is a Brazilian brand. And I'm going to hope and pray that it does not turn gold. Okay, I'm just going to add a little on the hat here. I'm going to add some to the hat here. If it gets stuck, I just use a little pin. You can use stickles. Stickles from Ranger have a bunch of different options for you to use. I'll show you in a second. I don't know why this is clogging up so much today. And then I will just set this aside to fully dry. So we have this like that. Let me just clean up this here. So I added some of the glue, the glitter glue to the hat, to the wrists, and to the bottom of the coat. And this is done. I'm going to set this aside to fully dry. And here's the first one with the other Cuttlebug folder. And then this is the and a Griffin one. I love them both. Again, if this wasn't being done on a video, you could probably pump these out really quickly, doing this production style. The stickles I was talking about. So I don't know if they're still being made. If they are, I'll link them below. This one is frosted lace. This one is called Crystal. And then this one has some gold specks in it. This one is called Icicle. Again, do a test on a printed paper that you have before, if you're worried that it might change the color. The gold is fine with me because it's Christmas. It's a Christmas card. So here are the two white, the ones I did with the white paper again, and I added the glitter glue here also. And it did change the color, but that's okay. It's okay. So this one says Feliz Natal, which is Merry Christmas in Portuguese. This one says 'Tis the Season. So the words, you can have a field day with the words. And that's that. I would love to know what you think of this. Don't forget to take advantage of Kim's sale. 55% off through Monday. KCSDesignsByKim.etsy.com. Drop me a note, a comment if you get anything from her. I'd love to know if I'm supporting her in some way. If you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be great. If you could leave a comment, that would be great. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, I will have more videos coming out soon. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great Thanksgiving if you're celebrating in the United States. Take care, everyone.